Yep. Problem ya video sekejap. Okay. Dengar visual saya? Okay, dah. Dah
Okay, Prof.
Okay.
I got your visual.
Alright, thank you.
You have slides to share, is it?
Yes, I will control from my end.
Okay, so no problem. The program, because Prof. Khalida has mentioned that due to some limitation of time, she won't be giving any opening speech. So we can wait until some participants enter. Then we have the welcoming remark. Then I will just pass the session to you. Is it okay?
Okay.
All right, so we will wait a little bit for the participants to enter because I think from our side, we have another program that maybe they are still not done from the other side, okay?
Okay, Dr. Sophia.
All right.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Ronodin dan
Assalamualaikum.
siapa tu? Dr. Tan and also Dr. Sophia dan lain-lain. Terima kasih. Untuk makluman, saya juga share memberi keizinan lah RMC untuk mewar-warkan program ini supaya mereka juga boleh join kita. Terlebih
Okay.
saya ucapkan terima kasih lah kepada Nordin and juga Dr. Tan kerana kita pun arrange in a very last minute tu and then masa kita pun tak banyak. So terima kasih kepada semua yang menguruskan.
This program plan sampai established within 24 hours.
Itu maksudnya dah
Very
cepat.
busy.
Program SKA free tadi dah habis, so insyaAllah they will be joining lah.
Oh, okay. Maybe we can give another 5 minutes, Prof. Is it okay?
Yes, fine for me. Yeah, yes.
All right.
Whenever you're ready, you can start. I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, I think little by little we can start, yes? Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to everyone. I would like to welcome all of you to our sharing session for today on the International Grants Opportunity in Switzerland, Leading House Asia. This program is conducted by the School of Civil Engineering, University Technology Malaysia as part of the initiative for MIRA Section B. The main objective for this program is to increase the application and the number of international grants in UTM. As we all know, international grants have higher weightage in our ELPPT, and considering today's challenge and competition to get local or national grants, perhaps it is about time for us to look into the possibility of getting international grants for ourselves. And today we have the opportunity to get some first-hand information from our both speakers on the international grants opportunity in Switzerland. We have two prominent speakers for today's event. The first one, Professor Dr. Nordin bin Yahya from Civil Engineering School, and the second speaker we have Associate Professor Dr. Tan Cher Siang, also from the School of Civil Engineering. So for today's event, we will have approximately 1 hour altogether, and we will start the sharing session by Professor Dr. Nordin Yahya, and followed by the sharing session from our second speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Tan Cher Siang. And towards the end of our event, we may have a question and answer session. For this Q&A session, if you have direct questions that you want to pose to Prof. Nordin at the end of his session, you can either also type your question at the chatting box, or I may open the session perhaps if you have immediate question to ask him. Otherwise, we will keep all question and answer session at the end of our session. And at the end of our program, we may have one simple photo sessions for our memory for today's program. So without further delay, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Professor Dr. Nordin Yahya. Is currently a professor in structural engineering in University of Technology Malaysia. His current position include the member of Board of Governors of Tunku Abdul Rahman University College, and he's also the Vice President for GE4 Network and Advisory Board member of Swiss Asian Learning and Teaching Network. His previous position include the Director of Higher Education Leadership Academy, Pro Vice Chancellor International for UTM, Dean of Graduate School of UTM, and also he's previously Deputy Dean at the Faculty of Civil Engineering. Professor Dr. Nordin Yahya has been with UTM for more than 30 years. So it is a very huge experience that he has obtained within these years. And we are very glad that Professor Nordin has the time to be with us today to share his overview of higher education institution in Switzerland and grant opportunities. So without further delay, I'll give the session back to you, Professor Nordin. Let me stop sharing and yes, please go.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Sophia, for the introduction. Thank you, everyone. My fellow speaker, Dr. Tan, and all participants of our briefing session. We'll keep it informal. You can ask questions. You can put the questions. Probably we have chat board. Maybe Dr. Sophia can monitor the questions, and I will answer the questions later. I will go through the presentation. My scope of presentation will be overview about higher education institutions in Switzerland, and I will talk briefly about Leading House Asia and introduce what is Leading House Asia. The grant opportunities with Malaysia will come under Leading House Asia, and Dr. Tan later will come to explain more about the grant opportunities and his experience with Leading House Asia. He did his attachment with EPFL several years ago, and there are other staff, UTM staff as well. Prof. Atif, hopefully he also will join our session today. Okay, I will give a broad overview about higher education institutions. Why I will give the higher education institution in Switzerland, because under this particular program, the application must be made by the partners in Switzerland. So that's why we need to know about the universities and higher education institution in Switzerland as overview. So there are several types of IHL, higher education institution of higher learning in Switzerland. Federal universities, canton universities. Canton means state in Malaysia, negeri. University of Applied Sciences, higher education institutions of art and music, universities of teacher education, Federal Institute for Vocational Education and Training. The eligible institutions I will explain later. The eligible institution who can participate in the Leading House Asia program. It's not necessarily universities or higher institution of higher learning only. The research institutes are also eligible for this program. So just a broad overview about the country. They're divided into cantons. So while I explain about the cantons, because the universities are based in all these states. Okay, we have the central cantons, northeast, Zurich, Bernese Highlands, Bernese Lowlands. So these are the states, and you see the location of universities and the University of Applied Sciences. So probably we'll be focusing today, I will explain about the universities and the University of Applied Sciences. So there are two types under the universities. There are two types of universities. One is what they call federal universities or federal institutions. And there are other 10 cantonal universities. Okay, if you can see here, the federal universities are at the heart or the ETH Zurich. Then another federal university is EPFL. This is where Dr. Tan did his postdoc, and also under this program, he will explain later. So there are two institutions under federal universities, and other universities like University of Zurich, University of St. Gallen, University of Lucerne, University of Lausanne, University of Geneva, University of Freiburg, University of Bern, University of Basel. These are cantonal universities. So one canton, one state, they have one university, one comprehensive university, I would say, for the state. Then under the, like our Ministry of Education there in Switzerland, they have what they call University of Applied Sciences. So these are applied universities. University of Applied Sciences, very applied, they're very industry based. They don't have PhD programs. They only have bachelor and master programs. So there are 8. So 7 now. Actually, there are 9 now. 8 here. I think they just established a new one. Sorry, this is I used this slide based on the briefing by the Swiss Embassy about 3 years ago. So they are based on region. So they're combining several states like University of Applied Sciences of northwestern Switzerland. So they combine several states. They form one University of Applied Sciences for that region. And usually they have branches in all the canton or the states. For example, I'll explain more about University of northwestern Switzerland, because we already have collaboration with them. So, like a big canton like Zurich, in central region, they have they call it Zurich because it's central. But the other regions, they call it University of Northwestern or Northwestern or Northeast, or they call it Southern. The unique thing about Switzerland is they are a landlocked country and surrounded by by big countries like Germany, France, Italy. So on the west, they also have Austria, but Liechtenstein is a very small country. But meaning to say is they are dominated by their neighbors, big neighbors. Swiss, they don't have their own language. They speak 4 languages. Well, they speak 3 main languages. Swiss is a German Swiss style, so that's a 4th language, or their first language. So they have French, German, and a Swiss language is a German Swiss. So it's basically based on German language, and Italy. So Italian. So the northern part of Switzerland, they speak German. The western part of France, of Switzerland, nearer to France, they speak French. The southern part of Switzerland, they speak Italian. So in their universities, they will use all these 3 languages plus English. So that's why they have 4. Okay. For English is available in all in all universities, but the dominant language would be the dominant language spoken in that region. So in northern part, for example, the closer to Germany, they will speak German, of course, with Swiss version of it, but basically German language. So in federal universities like big universities, federal universities and big cantonal universities, they will have several languages available. For example, in EPFL in Lausanne, the time will specify this, it is closer to France, so they speak French there. So this is Geneva. So Geneva is close to France, so they speak French. So in Lausanne, because it is in EPFL, because it is a federal institution, they have for main courses offered under, for example, under civil engineering, for example, theory of structures, they will teach the subject in 4 languages. So there will be English version of the subject, French, German, and Italian. Very interesting situation in Switzerland. Okay, despite of that, let me see. Okay, this is and they are good universities. I mean, federal universities like ETH or ETH Zurich, EPFL in Lausanne, they are ranked very high in the world. Under QS, ETH Zurich ranked number 6 in the world. So they are top 10 in the world, and EPFL number 14. This keep changing. Top 20. Sometimes they, but ETH always top 10. EPF always top 20. In other ranking also they are reasonably good. Under THE number 14, ETH number 14, EPFL number 43. Under Shanghai University, they are also very good. So other universities, they are relatively good. University of Zurich is the largest cantonal university, and it's based in Zurich. So they are top 10, top 100 in all rankings. So just to explain their universities, they are very, very good universities, very international. And of course, the history of Switzerland, higher institutions, they have produced a lot of, I think 25 Nobel laureate already over the years, including Einstein. So Einstein used to study at Zurich, ETH Zurich. Okay, see I will not time. I don't have to explain about the universities, but okay, just to show that in all subjects like engineering or sciences or agriculture, life sciences, clinical medicine, they are a very small country, but they are in top 5, ranked top 5 in the world in all subjects. Looking at the scientific publication. So now we're talking about the research grant. So the way they organize under SRI is Secretariat for Education, for research and scientific. So there are two ministries, basically, one on innovation and science, and the one is on higher education. So the research grant that we're talking about here is under SERI, under the Ministry of Research and Innovation. So they have divided the world into 5 regions, and they assign one university to be responsible of one region. For example, University of St. Gallen responsible for South America. This for research collaboration. And then another institution in the area of tropical and public health institute in collaboration with University of Basel. So they focus in Africa. Then the University of Applied Sciences and Art Western, they are responsible for Northern Africa. Then Zurich University of Applied Sciences responsible for India and also Persia region. And ETH Zurich is responsible for Asia and ASEAN region. Asia in general, ASEAN in particular. So that's why we're talking about today more about ETH Zurich. So the unit that is responsible for research collaboration, not necessarily research, is collaboration with Asia is based at ETH Zurich. So what is Leading House Asia? So basically it is it's leading house for collaboration with Asia. So you can go to the website, you go to ETH Zurich, there is a website on Leading House Asia. I attended the kickoff session several weeks ago, and that's the reason why I wanted to share this to everyone. So ETH Zurich has been mandated by the State Secretary for Education, Research and Innovation. This is one that I was talking about. For the bilateral science and technology program with Asia, that include ASEAN since 2003. So the previous call already finished 2000. Now they have a new call, 2021 to 2024. The way they organize funding in Europe is that they have a project, so that is locked for a certain number of years, and they have program. So under that program, they have sub programs. So they will stick to that. Of course, they have the budget, they have the eligibility and the conditions. So there's no other way around. The only way to collaborate is by following the program. So the program that I'll be talking about today is Leading House Asia. Under Leading House Asia, there are 4 projects, other 4 programs, funding instrument they call it. So mobility grants, so research grants, innovation grants, opportunity grants. I don't have to. You can go to the website and read all other programs or other grants, but today we only have opportunity to talk about research grants because this is the only one which is open now. With Asia, they have, like I mentioned, they have an exchange program, but the one that is available for application in Malaysia is only one currently. Call for Research Partnership grants, which is open since 1st of July, and the deadline is 30th of September. That's why we rush to have this briefing as early as possible. I mean, we just talk about it, and I thought that we can share this with SKA, but it's okay to open to UTM in general. So this particular grant is open until 30th of September. So they call it Research Partnership grants. So this is the key that probably will limit the application. This call is only open for existing collaborations. There will be another one which is open to totally new partnership or new initiative they call it Research Partnership Grant for ASEAN. That one is not open yet. I will explain that later. So this is for existing collaboration with China, including Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and ASEAN member states. So it's a competitive grant. So although it's open only for Asia, but we have to compete with other ASEAN member states and also some other ASEAN countries. Another key feature is the principal investigator has to be based in Switzerland. So he's a Switzerland-based professor, senior scientist, and new postdoctoral researchers. It can be even postdoctoral researchers, but they must be based in any eligible institutions in Switzerland. So grants for joint bilateral research projects, and maximum sum is 25,000 Swiss franc, roughly multiplied by 4. So the amount is not much. So this one is about 100,000 ringgit only. And duration is 12 months, 1 year. So they're going to have annual calls. So I expect that around this time of the year, every year, July, August, 21, 20, but it's a summer. So they have a target of having this call every summer of 2031, 22, 23, 24. So we just, for the following years, next year, following years, we need to keep our eyes open so that we will not miss the call. Okay, the information you can, I will share my presentation is a linkable, also a clickable link. So you can go to this, but you can search under ETH or ETH Zurich. Bilateral research collaboration with Asia 2021-24, call for research partnership grants. So like I mentioned, this is only for existing partnership. So I will explain who are working with Malaysia or with UTM currently. So these are the universities that we should be targeting. Previously it was called bridging grants. I'm not sure, and Dr. Tan probably will explain. He went to EPFL last time under bridging grants or the seed grant. I think Prof. Atif under seed grant. I think Dr. Tan probably under bridging grants. So application process, like I mentioned, the PI must be from Switzerland. So there is an application form, and Dr. Tan will explain later lah. They were very particular about one single PDF document. So of course there is a online application, and you have to attach the document. That the document must be only one, and so do not send several documents on one go. So eligible institutions, as I mentioned, there are 12 universities and 8 University of Applied Sciences. They are all qualified, and all public research institutes, you have to search yourself, and Universities of Teacher Education in all research fields. So it's very, very open. You can go to the list of institutes of national importance, SRI. There are several research institutes under SRI, and the list of universities and Universities of Applied Sciences I already mentioned. So for this particular grant, it is open. The deadline is 30th of September. So we have, if you're interested, you have a slightly more than 1 month. There will be an evaluation from October to November. December, they will notify whether it's successful or not. The earliest project starting date will be in February, up to 12 months. The evaluation selection will be based on the following criteria: scientific and technological merit of the anticipated outcomes, potential for long-term collaboration and follow-up activities. So do not be ambitious. This is only starting grant for something bigger. So it's only for 12 months. So they will be focusing more on the workshops and mobility. You can go there, the professor can come here for workshops. Just do something very basic to kick off something bigger. Originality and feasibility of the proposed activity, expertise and complementaries of the partner laboratory institutes and applicants, contributions of all involved partners, including funding and in-kind contribution. So this is something else. If you have existing grant yourself here, or there is something at RMC you can apply for in-kind contributions, or add up to the application, you can declare in the application. My strong suggestion to the potential applicants, this is very good for early career researchers. I mean, young lecturers here at UTM and female. So I think they give special consideration. Okay. So it doesn't mean that professors cannot apply, but you can encourage your members under your research group to apply. You can probably provide the connection, but the application is done by the juniors. Okay, the expertise and complementaries, this is something that we need to talk about because remember the application must be done by our partners there. So they are the one who should be interested to do the work with us. And of course, there has to be their research area, their priorities, their whatever. So we just need to match, our interest with their interest so that they are interested to apply. So they have to do the work. So this is called scheduling for all other grants. There's mobility research. So this is the one that open, like I mentioned, and the ASEAN research partnership grant ASEAN, like I mentioned, the starting grant I mentioned for ASEAN is not open yet. It will open early 2020, so early next year. So this is, I will just go very quickly because we have time to really work on the partnership now, from now until early next year, in order for us to apply research partnership grant ASEAN. So this is for new collaboration with partners only in ASEAN members. So remember the first one, the one that currently that's open is open to Asia as well. Japan, China, so it's more competitive probably. This is for ASEAN, so we are the focus group here. So this is only open in January, but of course the partnership has to be developed starting from now. The amount is slightly smaller. It's maximum of 50,000 Swiss francs. Also up to 12 months, call in fall. So the other grants, opportunity grants, you have to keep your eyes open. The annual call will be in spring. That means they will call in January next year. And then the other grant is, I think, research opportunity mobility grant. So mobility grant is not open to Malaysians. It's only in ASEAN. It's only with Thailand. Okay. Very quickly, I'm sorry, it took a little bit of time. We'll try to break here. With ASEAN, okay, I will talk about ASEAN slightly. I do not know why. Okay, last time it was called seed money grants. Grant sum now maximum 20,000 pula. Tadi 15,000. I think I have to double check this one. But both information come from their slide. So I will ask Lady House Asia about this. Mission that score will be in 2022. The objective is basically to establish new collaboration. So this is very good. And like I mentioned, you see the objective number 4 there, to develop a joint project proposal to be submitted to large funding agencies. I think I'm running out of time now. Eligibility is the same. Information can be obtained. So you can contact directly Patricia. She's the one who is leading the group at ETH, at the ETH Zurich, program manager for Lady House Asia. She's the one. You can also ask Nadine or Lucia there. So Lucia is more responsible for the funding and for the money anyway. So there is another opportunity for research. This is not under Lady House Asia. This is an additional information. Under CNSF, Swiss National Science Foundation, they have funding for mobility. Short visits, 1 to 6 months for researchers in Switzerland to go abroad. This is for vice versa. I mean, for the international researchers can go there for under that program. We can go there for 2 to 5 days for them to invite Malaysians to go. So they will support the living and the traveling expenses. But submission must be done 4 months in advance. It's good once you have the collaboration, partnership with them, you can do a lot of things. This is one of the funding that are available to fund your travel to Switzerland. This one is open all year round. Submission has to be done 4 months in advance. Okay, I had run out of time. but I will help. I can help you with the partnership arrangement. You remember the grant require us to have partnership as in existing partnership. So we already have partnership with University of Applied Sciences and Arts, Northwest Switzerland. I have a very close relationship with the Director of International, with the Dean of Business, apparently, and also I know the Director of International at School of Engineering. So they have civil engineering at University of Applied Sciences and Arts. And of course, they have other fields in engineering. If you from other other faculties attend this session. I already have briefed several groups, research group under School of Business, AHIPS rather, to match with the School of Business in University of Applied Sciences, Northwest, FNHW. We already have collaboration with them. I'm one of the in advisory board of SALT, Switzerland ASEAN Learning and Teaching Network. We've organized conferences twice already. One in Vietnam last year, and 2019 was in KL. We also have organized what we call Swiss Innovation Challenge with AHIPS last time in 2017, also with FNHW. I mean, we have existing collaboration with them. Dr. Shazli from Razak's faculty already have attachment in FHW. So we have some collaboration with them. Collaboration with EPFL, we already also have with EPFL Lausanne. Dr. Tan will explain more about our collaboration with EPFL. And if Prof. Atif is in today, probably he can also share his experience at EPFL as well in Lausanne. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to rush through the presentation in the time. I think I just managed half an hour there. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
All right. Thank you, Professor Dr. Nordin. Right now, we do not have any question posed by our participants in the chat box. Or are you willing to take one perhaps live questions, or you want to keep it?
I think let Dr. Tan.
All right. So we will continue with our session by our second speaker. And let me go through a brief introduction of our second speaker. Associate Professor Dr. Tan Cher Siang is academic staff in the School of Civil Engineering at University Technology Malaysia. And he has previous experiences with Switzerland in terms of the research program. He has obtained a postdoctorate scientist position in the EPFL Switzerland in the year 2013, and it lasted for 1 year until 2014. And he has obtained EPFL seed grant upon completion of his postdoc research. And he has also obtained the SERI bilateral research partnership grants between the year 2014 and 2016. And these grants has opened research collaboration between UTM and EPFL. And today we are very glad to have Dr. Tan to share his experience in research collaboration with the Swiss researchers. So I pass the session to you, Dr. Tan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sophia. So now it's already the lunch hour. So when I was in Switzerland, there is a kind of famous thing is called a lunch working hour. So you can have your lunch, and as well as the same time you can join the sharings. Okay. So this is just I believe that the Prof. Nordin I mentioned just now, it is kind of not so formal things, but it's more into information sharings, and then we also take the Q&A sessions afterwards. All right, I think the time left to me is very short. I need to go through 3 things with you about my sharing. So I will go very fast as the bullet train in France, we call it TGV in Europe. But any questions or anything that you want me to reply to explain more against, we can have it at the Q&A sessions after finish my presentations. All right, so should there have any hiccups in my presentation where my talks is not synchronized with my PowerPoints or the shows, please, okay, someone just voice it out and let me know. because when I can only see my screen with my slides, I don't know what you see over there. Okay, in terms of any hiccups, kindly let me know. So this is about my contents. I will first share about the Switzerland and the EPFL, which is the institutions that I attach with. Then I will share about my experiences with the collaboration. And last but not least, I will share about the call for research partnership grants that Prof. Nordin had mentioned just now. I will show you the forms and the procedures, okay, from how do you download the forms, fill it up until the submission. But anyway, it has to be done in a very fast way. Okay, if you Google, all right, from UTM, Skudai Johor, and then you type the institution EPFL, so you come up with Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. So this probably will come out in the Google Forms. So you can see that this is UTM, and then you go to the European countries over there, you take a flight, it will about 20 hours over there. All right, so if you merge into there to find the maps of the Europe, so these are the countries in Europe, and Switzerland is a very small country, okay, just over here. If I change my pointers to a laser point, okay, so it's small countries over here, and there are no sea borders, okay. It is surrounded by France, by Germany, Austria, and Italy, and some small countries over here. All right, so now I zoom out with the Switzerland's country. So where all the flights from international will actually reach to Zurich. Okay, some flights will reach to Geneva. You may know Geneva. It is at the southern parts over here. So the EPFL institution that I joined is in Lausanne. So this is the area of the place that I joined. So Lausanne doesn't have an airport. To reach there, you either have to take the trains from Zurich, okay, to Lausanne. It takes about 2 hours, all right, or you took a flight from Zurich to Geneva. Then from Geneva, you take another trains, okay, to Lausanne. So I show you my next slides. It's actually accessible to trains currently. All right, of course there are airports inside there, but I think that is for the military or for the local use. Okay, for visitors like us, we will have to travel to there using the train. But the good thing is the transportation system is very how should I say, very good and very easy to visitors in Switzerland. So when you reach the Lausanne, you reach to the train station. We call it the Gare, which is in France train station. All right, you could check another train or the monorail to reach the universities. Okay, which is about 20 kilometers away. Okay, the name is EPFL. All right, and this is the Geneva Lake, or this is in the French name called the Lac Clément. All right, so I just going back again. So as mentioned by Professor Nordin, Switzerland, they also speak 3 languages. All right, as the northern part, they will speak a Swiss German language. All right, a little bit like a German language. Here in this southern west area, they will be speaking French because this is near to the France. All right, and then to the southern eastern part, they will be majority speaking in Italy. Both 3 languages are the national language of Switzerland. And one thing, please bear in mind, English is not their national language. All right, so they will have a hiccup over there. I'll share the stories to you later on. All right, so if you took a train or took a taxi, all right, to reach to the university, so this is basically, okay, a bird view of the university. So the very, how should I say, interesting landmark is this, we call it the Rolex Centers. Okay, yes, it is funded, built by the Rolex watch, all right? And then if you look from the satellite, it look like a cheese over there. So Switzerland is also famous with that cheese fondue. All right, so the rest of the presentations, I will escape from my presentation slides, but I will go into the websites, okay, to show you how can you access to the EPFL website, and if you want to search for the researchers inside there, how do we do it? All right, so eventually it is quite easy for you to search at the Google form, or I'm using a Firefox. You just type EPFL, right? Then you enter, and probably will link to the website. Okay, so this is the first page of the websites. All right, you can go to the about if you want to access to the first time to know about the university. So you can click about. So this is all the informations that you can check. All right. For first timer, okay, nothing know about that, then you can have click on this EPFL at glance. Okay, more about EPFL, you just click in. All right, so there is a video clips about the EPFL. Of course, this is more about advertisements. All right, but a lot of technology shown in the video is actually real. Okay, and some key figures. Okay, you have from different institutions. So these are some of the summarize of the key figures. You notice that it is a very young university. So, okay, it's 52 years old. I think about the same as UTM. All right, these are the staff and student figures and some of the statistics and so on. So you can reach to D for the at glance summary, or you want to know more. Okay, you can go down and you can click on the annual reports and you can download it. All right, so for Swiss, they are very transparent. A lot of things they will show, okay, to the world, so you can access to the website. All right, so this is for the first timer to go for the websites. So for me, as for the researchers who want to build out the relationship with them, you want to find the research centers or you want to know the research partners over there, you can go down into the bottom of the page. All right, so here about is general information about Switzerland. This is the education, it's about study, all the courses, all right, study requirements, or the students, perfect students, the syllabus and so on is under educations. And then another column is this research, all right, everything regarding the research and innovation. This is more into entrepreneurship things. And then this is about the campus, okay, more to the person who visits there or the students inside there to know the informations. So the school, okay, there are 5 schools in EPFL. We call it the School of Architecture, Civil and Environmental Engineering, or the short form is ENAP. Okay. Second is the School of Basic Science, SBA. School of Engineering, these are the mechanical, electrical engineering inside here, so SDI. And then you have the School of Computer Communication and Science, this is ISA. And then School of Life Science, FA. Right. Besides that, they have colleges and also some centers at Middle East and so on. So I'm from a civil engineering background. So if you're interested, I will just click on the School of Architecture and Civil Engineering. All right, just wait for a while for my browser to go through. All right, so this is the website of the School of Engineering. So they always have a short form for the name, okay? So that it will be much more international. Original, the website language is in French language, all right? But this is the English translations. But the names over here, the short form is follow the French short forms. Okay, just like Malaysia, our short form is using the Malay short forms, okay? But international people can recognize using the abbreviations. All right, so this is about the school. And if you are interested with the research, you can click on the research. All right, so these are the research institutions. We have the architectural, environmental engineering or environmental science. This is about the earth, the water, and so on. All right, and I was from the civil structures background, so I'll just look into the Civil Engineering Institute. All right, so this is the institution of the civil engineering. Okay, so all this is the access. Okay, you can get the access to the more major field, for example, structures and materials. Okay, geosystems, transportation and networks, they are actually very good over there. All right, and then these are the laboratory and some of the institutions. All right, and so I'll just click on the structures and materials. All right, so they are the research center. They either name the center, okay, or they can name as laboratories. All right, we have earthquake engineering laboratories. All right, composite constructions laboratory. I'm mentioning some of the keywords that my colleagues, okay, may be interested of. Computational solid mechanics. Okay, so those who do the finite elements modeling and so on, you might find interesting over here. And last time I was joining this Steel Structures Laboratory. Last time it's called the Steel Laboratory, ICOM, ICOM, but now they renamed the center, okay, with the REST Lab. Okay, so I just click on the center, then I join in. All right, just wait for a while. And then, okay, these are the informations about the centers. And then we can go for the people inside there. Yeah, I hope it's this one about us. Yeah, okay, so these are the people inside the center. Okay, last time my supervisor, Professor Jean-Paul Lebet, is the head of laboratory, but he's already retired. Now is being taken off by the associate professor Dimitros Lignos. All right, and my supervisor was Eleanor Obama. Okay, he's the adjunct professor over there, and these are the people inside the center. Okay, these are the students. All right, technical staff. And then these are scientific assistants, okay? More like a research officer and so on. So you can find the information about the peoples over here by just clicking their names, for example. Okay, I just click the names of my this Professor Dimitros. For your information, the surname, the family name is behind, so you have to call him Professor Lignos, okay? Dimitros is when you are very familiar with him, okay? Then you ask you to call him the first name, okay? So this is the, what do you call, the postal address, all right? This is the contact number, and the email is given over here, okay? This is the contact number. So the profile, if you want to find a researcher profile, okay, it's always good to reach the bibliography. All right, and the publication, usually I will check on the publications and to find what are the recent publication that will review, okay, what is the active research area for time being. Okay, and also I can see from the teaching and PhD, this is the supervision. Okay, courses is the teaching course. All right, and then the research is the research books that they did. All right, so these are all the informations about one researchers. If you found interested, okay, maybe you can through Prof. Nordin. I think you can have a good relationship with the partnership of the Switzerland, so you may contact them. All right, so this is basically about the steel laboratory because I'm from steel backgrounds. I also show for my friends e-beton. So beton in France is called the concrete. All right, so I know my colleagues have a huge group which is doing the concrete. So you can cut that i-beton. All right, and then you enter here. So these are everything you need to know about concrete. Okay, the teaching, research, services, and so on. If you want to find the people, so it's over here, members. So the director is still the same person, Professor Amutoni. All right, and last time I had a good sharing session about teaching with Dr. Oliver Burdick, Dr. Burdick. Okay, so you click the names, then you can see the mail address, the phone, and electric address, and so on. All the information about the researcher is over here. All right, so I think my time is very limited. I had to skip with the introduction about the Swiss and return to my slides. Okay, this is just the background slides in case my internet doesn't work. Okay, my experience in the UTM EPFL collaborations. It starts, okay, with 2012 when UTM is hosting the visiting professors from EPFL. So at civil engineering, we had the chance to host two. One is Professor Jean-Paul Lebet, he's under steel. Another is Dr. Lissi, okay, under the earthquake engineering. All right, straight after the visitings, and then Malaysia for the first time offer a postdoc scholarships, okay, for Malaysia academicians to do postdoc overseas. So I grabbed the opportunity, applied it, and then I start my postdoc in 2013 in the summer. Okay, that is my first trip to Switzerland. All right, after 1 year, I actually complete my postdoc and then return to Malaysia. But at the same time, eventually in April that year, my supervisor, Professor Nosboma, asked me to write a proposal, a research proposal. And then when I reached Malaysia in July, he gave me a call, say, I got it, I got the proposal, okay, under my postdoc research topic, okay. It's a seed grant offered by the university, by EPFL. So giving me the chance of the grant, of the seed money, so I was invited to visit back, okay, to EPFL again, and then to share to the group of people about my proposals, okay, about my postdoc research, and then we meet with what do you call potential collaborators. They are from United Nations, okay, they are from Haiti, they are from African, and so on, to discuss about what we can do next, okay, from my seed money grant. And during that 2 days of the visits, okay, eventually my second trip is only 5 days in Switzerland. but it's a very fruitful and very packed Fridays. So during the 2 days visits, okay, there is announcing of this SERI grant. This is the Secretary of Education, Research and Innovations. All right, this is the first time they have this SID grant to Southeast Asia country. So my supervisor asked me to write a proposals. So in 2 days, I come up with the proposals. I gave to my supervisor before I returned to Malaysia. All right, in the 1 month later on, okay, about early of the 2015, I was informed that I secured the second grant. Okay, from that grant, I visit for the third time to the EPFL for 1 month this time, and then this is funded by the grants. And then from then, I start another research collaboration with them. And throughout the visits, okay, I host the visits by the students to Malaysia, 2014 September, and then during my visits as an invited speaker, okay, I visit Dr. Oliver Burdett. This is actually for another partner in my faculty. Last time is my school who were doing the MOOC, okay, teaching things. So I visit about him, and then later the next year I have a chance to visit him to invite him to come to Malaysia, and then we have a joint research in UTM. Okay, this is the visits by the Swiss person to Malaysia. So basically, 3 trips to Switzerland, 3 trips from them to here. Okay, of course, this is from my points of view. Okay, from Prof. Nordin, he might know, okay, more of the thing is happening in the university points of view. So this is the centers that I will join. Last time it's named of the ECOM. Now it is under the REST Labs. So this is the office that I stayed. Okay, they wrote my names over there. This is my supervisor. So standing beside him, I feel like I'm Hobbit, okay, in the Lord of the Rings. And then these are some of the works, okay, related to civil engineering structures that I collaborate with them in Switzerland. And during my visit, I had the chance to host, okay, visits by our NC, Professor Wahid Omar, and also Professor Nordin. Okay, they have a very quick tour to Switzerland, to EPFL, and then to discuss with the faculties over there. All right, so in September, there is a group of Swiss persons visit to Malaysia. So in very short time, okay, I call up students in the civil engineering faculty who are doing their internship in Kuala Lumpur, and then to meet with them. Okay, so we have the explanation, okay, about UTM Malaysia by our students, and explanation about EPFL by the EPFL students. All right, then you have a evening, okay, bringing the visitors, okay, to have a jalan-jalan cari makan, okay, in the KL area. So that is a very short time, okay, planning very short while, but it's a very fruitful and memorable time together with all peoples. At the same time, we have the person, this is Professor Oliver, okay, visit to UTM for the MOOC discussion. At the same time, we have some sharing sessions, visit to the labs discussion, and so on. This is during his visits. And then this is my third trip to Switzerland. Okay, he showed me the MOOC setting inside there. And within half an hour, he asked me to prepare my teachings for UTM, and then recorded a MOOC, okay? Just in 30 minutes preparations. Okay, but it's a good experience for me to access the MOOC, and of course it brought me to visit the glacier in Switzerland, and we had some fun times over there. Okay, so in October, November, there is a third visit to Malaysia. This is actually sponsored by my second grant, by the SERI grant. So at the same time, I also have a collaboration grant from UTM. So using the grant, we have a lot of activities that carry out. One is the Sustainability Week in UTM. So we have the professor to explain to our students what is the sustainability program in Switzerland. Then we have a cohort workshop number 3. The number 1 is in Switzerland, number 2 in India. I joined it virtually like today, and then number 3 in UTM. So we have people from Switzerland, people from architectural background, from the governments of Kelantan, because that time we share about the Kelantan flood. All right, and this is sharings over there. Then we also bring the professors to visit the Kelantan, to visit the place after the flood of Kelantan 2014. Okay, for them to understand what happens and what are the local people's requirements, and even we sit down with the local people and eat some Kelantan delicious over there. All right, so this is the experimental works that we carry out in UTM in the laboratory structures. It's a very huge container structures. And then I have the help from all my ex-students with other PhD students, okay, who are active during that time, and then with the technical staff, okay, technicians inside the lab. So we have a very compact but fruitful, okay, experience together to carry out the experiments over there. So from there, okay, we can actually build out the relationship, train out our communication skills. At the same time, identify our strength and also the weakness, and then we always aim for the future improvements inside there. Okay, and actually after the testing, we apply for the NSF, the National Science Foundation of the Switzerland, but the grant doesn't unsuccessful, and our research will go into hibernate ever since then. But eventually, my professor Levitt, just after retirement, he already retired, but he come to Malaysia. So I met him in Kuala Lumpur at the same time and presents my work, okay, with Professor Allen during the conference over there. All right, so this is basically a research experience, okay, with them. I think the time is almost out. I will take another about 5 to 10 minutes to share about the grants, okay, offered by them. So again, I have to go back to the website. So if you just now, I think Prof. Nordin already showed you the websites. Okay, it is under ETH Zurich. This is another federal institution of technology in Switzerland. Okay, and this, you know, there's a lot of prestigious people like Albert Einstein, okay, coming from that area. So the survey grant now is parked under ETH Zurich. All right, so you can see the Leading House Asia. Okay, the website is over here. And then the call for research partnership grants 2021 is over here. So you just click it in. Okay, then you can go to the websites of the grant. So it is very important to follow the latest information available in the website. That's the reason I try not to copy and paste the information to my slides, because things might change. All right, so it's always good to go back to the origin. Okay, what I publish over here is considered final things. All right, so this is about the call for the research partnership grants. All right, and then the due date is on 30th September 2021. I think the details Prof. Nordin already mentioned to you. The maximum grant is 25K, K for thousands, okay, in the Swiss franc. Swiss franc is about 4.5 conversion to Malaysia ringgit. All right, and then project duration 12 months, and these are the eligible partners and so on. Okay, the goal and objectives. Okay, so these are the partner countries. And then eventually, they want us to have a joint proposal for a large funding agency. So this is a seed grant. The last time my grant is similar than this, but it's not so huge. It's only 10K. Now it's a 25K. All right. And then it's for the initiate, okay, the collaboration between Switzerland and Malaysia. All right, and then from there, this is the eligibility. So the application must be done by the Swiss partner. Okay, he is the submission person. We are the collaborators. All right, we have to provide them our informations, but he will sign the proposal and do the submission. These are the timelines. Okay, usually they will be very fast. The proposal and okay, they will revise and then they will have a decision in December, just like last time my attempts, and then the starting time to run the proposal is February 2022. Okay, you write your milestone, your activities planning will start on February 2002. Okay, duration 12 months. So the application process, okay, 2 parts. One, you have to download the forms, fill it up in a Word document, then you have to upload the forms, okay, in PDF, together with all the appendix, all the CVs and so on in only one PDF documents. All right, so the informations are very clear over here. So you click in the first things. This is just a PDF documents about the call. Sorry, about the call. Okay, this is a PDF, you can download it. So I can read through. Okay, this is not very difficult. Okay, it's only 3 pages, but you have to read and carefully read through the requirements inside here. Okay, if you're not following the requirements, for example, you're Australia, okay, want to involve Australia partner to do the application, sorry, okay, you might be not qualified to do so. Okay, the deadlines and so on. So all the information you can download over here. All right, and then you have the research proposals. Okay, so you click, this is the Word document, so you can download and then you can start to fill it out. So now I show a little bit of the proposals, which I have downloaded it. So the proposal is also very simple. If you look at it, it's only 3 pages. Okay, it's only 3 pages of the proposal. This is the form. Okay, but you have to write something about project title, the background, relevancy, and so on. Not more than 3 pages. The total is 6 pages. Okay, the total is 6 pages. So they go very simple and precise. All right, minimum font size 10 pt. Okay, here for you to fill out the particulars of your Swiss partner, not your names, but the Swiss partners. Partner country, of course, this will be Malaysia. Okay, you can type Malaysia over here. MALAYSIA. Okay, and then these are the things that you have to fill out in not more than 3 pages. Okay, so project titles, project description and objectives. Okay, past existing research collaborations. Okay, expecting results and so on. So if you're familiar with applying the MOHE, my Measure of Higher Education Grant, the FRGS and so on. So these are basically the same things. Okay, then you have to fill out the maximum budget. So the budget is over here, this one table. Okay, so the traveling cost is 2,000 francs. So you have 2 person, okay, for you to travel there for once, and for the partner to travel here to Malaysia. So you can fill out this is a 4,000. Okay, 4,000 Swiss franc over there. Then accommodation cost, you can come up with the calculations. Project consumables and equipment, you can write it down. Logistics, as I mentioned over here, the logistic is a sample and material if the material is not locally available. For example, you need to export something, okay, from Swiss to Malaysia to do the testing, so you can count it in, or you want to bring something from Malaysia to Switzerland to do the research, okay, maybe you test your sample using the equipment, so you can counting the cost, okay, for the logistics. Salary contribution, so this is not a good news for the applicant. This is actually for an author for joint proposal. Details, please ask your Swiss person. This is not related to us, okay? We don't have this part, but for them, they will know, okay, about this salary for the person to draft the proposals. Okay, so these are the part from the Switzerland part. So the total requested fund, this is maximum is 25,000. Okay, but it can be less. But important thing is you have to justify every single dollar that you are using. Okay, the second part is about the own contribution. That is from UTM, okay, or your own institution, and also for the Swiss partner institutions. Okay, for example, for mine is EPFL. So I will mention for the Swiss institution EPFL, so they were going to host my stay. Okay, for example, stay for one month is 2,000, so you will just put 2,000 over here, and then he will allow me to use the library, the laboratory. So the cost estimation, okay, it can be in kind, not be in cash, in kind. So estimated about another 3,000 for me to do the work. So that is a 5,000 Swiss franc, okay, by the institutions. And in Asian partner, for example, in UTM, so we are going to run experimental work, okay, that may cost about 10,000, okay, Swiss franc. And then you have to host the visits by the Swiss partner, maybe about 5,000. And then we want to run an international workshop in Malaysia, another 5,000. Okay, so 10 and 10 and 15, so we have 25,000 over here. Okay, try to match. Okay, try to match our own contribution and the contribution by the funder. Okay, but our contribution can be in kind. Okay, not necessarily in cash. All right, so compulsory CV of the principal investigator from Switzerland. Okay, maximum 2 page, nothing more. Okay, not 3 page. And then your own CV from the Asia co-applicants, maximum 2 page. Or any other supporting documents. Or if you have a joint publications, all right, or some other things you want to attach, then you can attach. All right, and this is to be signed by the Swiss partner. Okay, so this is basically about filling out the forms. Oh, I think I don't go first. So once you have finished up filling out the forms, so you go to the third, we'll go back to the website. This is the website that I showed you just now. You go to the third part and go for the online applications. Okay, I think my time is almost up, but this is the end of the last parts of the discussions. All right, so this is new. Last time it just email to them, and then they were just fax, okay, using a phone fax to the Patricia Huberger for the proposal. But now he asking us to fill out the particulars. But this is not critical. This is actually very fast. All right, just a short information like a Google form, something like that. So the name of the principal investigator in Switzerland, okay, the particulars of them, and then the particulars, this is the co-applicant. If no, you can skip it up. So the Asian co-applicants, this is from us. Okay, your name, your first name, your current position, your senior lecturer, professor, and so on. Nationality, your gender, female, male, or non-binary. Okay, institution, UTM, and so on. Okay, if there is a co-applicant from Asia, for example, you are collaborating with Thailand or collaborating with Indonesia, okay, then you can put their particulars over here, but it's just one box, everything in this one box. Okay, then your project title, keywords, duration, amount, intention, start date, and usually with February 2002. All right, and then you submit the information. Okay, so just now the thing that you need to submit is the research proposal, maximum 6 pages using the form, CV of the investigator 2 pages, okay, CV Asian co-applicants 2 pages max. So total here is 10-page PDF. Okay, 10-page PDF. Of course, you have any supporting document, not too much. Don't give them 50, 100 pages of what the books that you wrote together and so on. Okay, make it simple. Okay, maybe additional 1 or 2 pages of supporting documents. All right, you put out all into one single PDF. You click on the browse, you click on the submissions, and that's all. Okay, but the submission should be done by your Swiss partner. All right, I think that is all that I would like to share about the grants. Okay, so this is basically the same things about the application and so on. So I'll come to my end of my presentations. What are the practical considerations? Okay, first thing, it must be submitted by our Swiss partner. Okay, and when you want to do a collaboration with them, it's a good time for you, even not for this grant, for maybe the calling for the next year or until 2014. Okay, it's good for you to build out your personal profiles. Okay, don't worry, you are graduated from UTM or for any other what we call universities, but people look at your publications, okay, your WOS, okay, your H index and so on. So that is one thing, your blog, Facebook, or your personal websites. Okay, that is information about your career and your research backgrounds. Find a common ground to talk to them. Okay, don't say I can do anything in civil engineering. Okay, what's your interest? They don't do that. Okay, you must find their specific interest and then you have to talk to them. So if both of you are in the same research area, I believe you can very fast build up the conversations. Okay, and that is actually build up the relationship with the Swiss researchers. Okay, the form are very simple. No 100 pages or 10, 20 pages. Okay, it's a simple form, but the details have to be specific. Okay, don't be agak-agak around, okay, like that, or you just put everything, put the maximums. Okay, try not to do that. Okay, the funds will be supervised by the European partner. Okay, my experience is the grant is actually held by the Swiss, and then the reimbursement to all my expenses. Okay, follow the rules. 6 page means 6 page. Okay, and avoid recycling research proposal. Once you submit a research proposal and it's being rejected, let's say for this round, try not to resubmit the same proposal again next year. Okay, this is not what they do. All right, so you please think carefully and plan well before you do the submission. Okay, don't just submit for the merely of the sake of submission. You think very carefully, because when you submit it and it's being rejected, then you cannot recycle. Okay, you have to rewrite, okay, all your proposal again. So this is some things that you may want to be aware of. All right, I think this is the last of my presentation. So build out your personal information. Do what have been said. Be transparent. Okay, do your planning well. Swiss persons are very good in planning. Okay, you don't rush. Okay, they don't rush everything, but they do not delay. Okay, when you want to do further research or you want to look at other research grant, you can always start with some start of funding. For example, this is seed money, the mobility grant, or postdoc scholarships. Okay, some keywords related to Switzerland and also to the European grant are the Horizon 2020, MSCA, CESARI, or this is the Leading House Asia grant and so on. So after my presentation, is it impossible? Or you can read it as I am possible. All right, so I think that's all for my presentation. I pass the time back to our host. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tan, for the very fruitful and informative presentation. Well, without further delay, I would like to open first to the floor if any participants would like to ask questions to our speaker, Prof. Nordin or Dr. Tan. Okay, I think while waiting for our participants to ask a question, I would like to ask one question to our first speaker, Prof. Nordin. Prof. Nordin mentioned that the existing, the research grant that actually we could apply right now needs existing collaboration with the institution. So my question is that what are the, do this existing collaboration like being proven with some MOA or MOU with that person, or it can be like just a simple, because for example, some of our researchers may have writing a paper with the researchers from Switzerland. Can this be considered as part of the existing collaboration, or what do you need for this one?
It is good if thank you for the question. It's good if we have the existing collaboration. I mean, formal collaboration in terms of MOU or MOAs, like the one that we have with University of Applied Sciences Northwestern, FNSW. With EPFL, for example, actually as far as I can remember, we don't have the formal MOU. Probably we have, but not specific. Maybe Aspire, or probably we don't have. Actually, we probably. I have to check. We have to check with UTMI. But the existing collaboration that we're talking about, even for Dr. Tan to go, and I think Prof. Atif also is attending the session today. We can use this existing collaboration university-wide, as a basis of application. If you already have joint publication, for example, with other institutions in Switzerland, in my opinion, you can use that as existing collaboration, existing partnership. Okay. Not necessarily that we have the signed official MOU. Like I said, if we already have done, that is even better. So it's practically open, but of course, since we already have existing partnership with FNSW and EPFL, maybe it is good, and it is a strong one. I mean, strong means we already have the agreement with FNSW, and we already have successful programs with EPFL for a number of years since 2012. We hosted so many of their professors here at UTM, and we also have participated in many programs in the EPFL that has what we call collaboration. And we can start with these two, with these two institutions. EPFL is a very big institution. There are a lot of research area. So, like Dr. Tan mentioned, you have to search for possible partners. Dr. Tan has illustrated how to go to the website, and I think we have to explore based on their interest, because we cannot push our interest. We cannot push our expertise if we do not find it in EPFL. Maybe we have to initiate new relationship with other institutions if they have the area that we are interested in, and probably we have to apply using the other grant which is available starting from January next year. So you have more time to develop the partnership. Okay.
So Professor Nordin, in other words, that this existing collaboration doesn't need like black and white to prove it. You can just like, as long as the other partner accepted you, Is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Is it?
we have to we have to provide the evidence that we already have the partnership. I mean, existing collaboration. So if we already have joint publication or joint research, then we can use that it as a basis, like what we already have with
Understood.
EPFL. You can use Dr. Tan's. You can, there is institutional partnership rather. So the best is probably you have to work with Dr. Tan and Prof. Atif. Prof. Atif is here. Can you?
Yeah, Prof. Nordin.
Okay, can you share your experience?
Okay, maybe I have one page to share. Hold on.
Okay.
Allow me to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, I think Dr. Tan already explained a good brief now of the journey for his application. Actually, I also have few slides of mine, but I think my journey is quite different. So I am working with an area of biomimetic research since 2017. Then one of the person who are quite famous in BioInspired is this Professor Auk Ichpiet. So he stopped inspired me in TEDx lah. So I get to know about the grant end of 2017. Then I mail him and ask for his opinion if we can have some arrangement, collaboration, something. So it was in February 2018. Then actually I know about the grant earlier, but then we tried to engage with him, and the details from RMC was announced by July. So actually it is roughly 1 year engagement before. Then I contact back Prof. Oak 25th of July. And then discuss about the grant and budget in August, final preparation in August, submission. And then very quickly receive the notification of submission. And then just 1 month, then I get the notification of the acceptance. So we have the IP agreement, and project starts early of 2019. So this was my journey. I didn't go for postdoc in Swiss. So my engagement is through email and try to communicate and ask some opinion on how we can do collaborations together. So I sent my PhD student there for roughly 6 months. Then I was invited using his own grant for a 1 week session where I also deliver some talks in the university. So it was a very good experience going to Swiss, and if I have chance, I would like to reapply again for this grant. So I think we can try as what Prof. Nordin mentioned. If we want to, I was in EPFL Lausanne. I think same, right, Dr. Tan?
Yes, in Lausanne EPFL.
Yeah. So we can highlight our engagement from UTM to the university, and I was searching for the folder which I did the EPF. Okay, this is the my application. So quickly, my application at that time was around 10,000 francs. So the details is on the Swiss main applicant, his name, his details, then my details. So the budget was very brief, 10,000, but then this is the institute. The part is more on the and also on the accommodation of my team. So other than that, just 2 pages, I think 5 pages maximum, but we just put like few pages of this is the work of BioInspired research, and we have the Gantt chart, time work, and then I think that's all, the reference. So it is not that long, and we just attach the CV of the PI, the principal investigator from Swiss. So yeah, if some of you would like to have a look on the proposal, but as what Dr. Tan mentioned, we use the latest format, and the amount is already different. Previously, it was 10,000, so now it's already 25,000. So I think that's all. Just a quick sharing from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Aktif, for the very useful sharing. Back to you, Prof. Nordin, if you have anything to add.
Prof. Aktif's seed grant is actually the one that is going to open in February next year. Next year. I mean, not the current one. The current one is equivalent to bridging fund. They call it seed fund. Is the new one. That's why Prof. Aktif, you can start something very very new. You just email something, but this one is based on the existing one. So, but still, even if you have existing, like we already have with EPFL as institution, you can base. I mean, they have the record of probably. I would say if you mention it in your application that UTM as institution already has some form of collaboration in different area, so you can use that as supporting supporting evidence saying that as institution we already have collaboration. Of course, in your specific research area, you don't have because you're just about to start. And if they feel that you're not qualified, then you probably will be rejected this time, but you still qualify to apply in the next round for the ASEAN one. So at least you have established the relationship with the partner. My suggestion is you can try, although that not much time left, you can try to contact the partners now and try to apply even for now or for the current one. If you are not successful, you're going to get the result by December anyway. You can use the application again for although the Tan said you can apply, but this is different. Maybe they reject it based on the eligibility because of it is, not existing partnership rather than the research area.
Okay, sure, Prof. Inshallah.
Yeah. Is Dr. Song here? No.
Who, Prof?
Dr. Tan. Who's the other person?
Actually,
C.
UTM successfully got 3 grants, 6 grants. It's Dr. C. Hong Heng.
Dr. C, sorry. Dr. C, is Dr. C here? No.
I don't see him. Okay.
Dr. C,
So I think nowadays, quite familiar with UTM.
Yeah. If we can find him, others can also ask him about his experience as well.
Okay, very good information, Prof. Nordin. Is there any other question from the floor that you want to ask to Dr. Tan, perhaps, or our first speaker, Prof. Nordin?
Just additional information on the Dr. Tan and Prof. Aktif already mentioned about PFL. I only mentioned briefly about HNW, University of Applied Science. If you want to search University of Applied Sciences,